Hello and good evening, everybody. We are here on Thursday evening for an XCL open rating event. So we have some rookies, some bronze, some silver drivers. I don't think we have any gold drivers out there today, but we are looking pretty lively out there. I think the split's quite good as well. It's almost like a 50-50 split. I think when I last checked, there was about 12 or so bronze and silver drivers and about 16, I think, rookies. Based off of the practice times, I think one of the rookies might be looking good for pole position, so let's keep an eye on that one out there today as well. But we are at the lovely Snetterton circuit in the United Kingdom. And to get to Snetterton, you have to go all the way out into the sticks of Norwich. But a lovely circuit. I've been there myself in real life, and it always provides a lot of entertainment. Quite a narrow circuit, very unforgiving if you go off the track, because as you can see from the ride on camera with Adam Shaw here, there's just grass everywhere. The track isn't that wide, and if you do make a mistake, you are going to be in the grass. And when I was watching the practice earlier, there was a few of those kind of incidents out there. So hopefully these guys will stay out of trouble. The silvers are looking pretty fast. The bronze and silver drivers, the rookies, a couple of fast rookies out there as well. So we should see a lot of mix. I do love these open class races, because if you are a rookie and you do perform quite well against those more senior drivers, you will get quite a good XCL rating boost. So we have 50 minutes of qualifying here. I think we have about 28 or so drivers, and then we have a 30-minute feature race, which will include a pit stop for fuel. So lots of entertainment, I'm sure. In the chat today, we already have Levi Racing saying hello. So how are you doing, Levi? Good evening to you too. Chuggy B saying evening all, so hello Chuggy B, evening to you as well. Carol is in the chat saying hello all, so hello Carol as well. Jamie Fellows joining us as well, so saying only 2 McLarens, I'm offended. I'll have to go down the orders. Only 2 McLarens today? No, it's 4. There is 4 out there, they weren't all on the screen. And then we have a Sunny Daddy saying hi guys, so hey Sunny Daddy, let me know in the chat guys who you are cheering for today. As is customary with my streams, I am running with the first driver out of the pits. Oh, I really love that sunset in the distance as well. This is a really good setting for today's race. But yeah, Adam Shaw was the first driver out of the pits, so he will be setting the first hopeful qualifying lap. I think based on the quali times, or the practice times, maybe a 1:48, 1:47. Jamie Fellows saying he's still offended that there is only 4 McLaren drivers out there. I think... Actually, that being said, Ete Wilson, I think, was one of the fastest practice drivers out there, so watch out for him. Potential rookie driver getting pole position today. And for you, Jamie Fellows, he is driving a McLaren, so that is good news for you. I always love to see a few Beamer drivers out there as well, so it should be a good battle there. There's quite a few, to be fair. We've got Aston Martins, some Lamborghinis, Porsches, McLarens, Mercedes. There's even like Boatley in there, Champ of Howard racing the Bentley. That's going to be quite interesting. But yeah, we've got a good mixture of cars out there, so this should be quite entertaining today. As with previous broadcasts as well, I will be doing the 5 minutes of 5 cars inside cameras after about the 10-minute mark to go, so look out for that as well. Adam Shaw crosses the line. He sets a 4. No, I say he didn't set time. That's 4 minutes 5 seconds by Jerkio, so that must be a mistake there somewhere. I think the number 24 car coming across the line will be the first driver to set a time. Yeah, Baz PW sets a 1:55. So we do know that I think a 1:48 is probably where pole's going to be, maybe a 1:47. So keep an eye on these times, drop down the order as qualifying goes on. We already see Ete Wilson, like I did say, watch out for him, set a 1:48 dead. Carl Williams half a second back from him. Zirisi's just popping in about half a second back as well. So I think probably then, based on that, we probably will see a 1:47 for sure. Let's see who else is out there. The number 6 car is out there currently on a lap, so let's ride with Farrell for a second. Yeah, Levi Racing saying eyes on the Williams boys today. Yeah, Carl Williams and Brandon Williams. Not brothers, which is weird, but I do call them the Williams brothers, so good luck to them. We'll see how they get on. Jamie Fennis, man, were asking me. I think I'm Jamie, if we get more than maybe like 16, maybe 18 drivers, I think I'll broadcast it because I've got to sort of get ready for the season to start the week after. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, Farrell goes 2.9 seconds off the pace, so he's looking pretty racy though in 8th place. So I'm sure that will improve as the laps go on. We'll go back to Adam Shaw currently because I said he didn't set that time previously. Actually, no, we'll ride with someone different. We'll ride with Crypto Exotics because he sounds pretty cool and he's got an interesting livery out there. So Crypto Exotics currently in P27. I think today we only have one rookie driver out there. But what is interesting, guys, and I want you all to look out for in this battle, is the battle of the kind of leadership here. So we have Klopty in the 789 Audi, and then we also have Dick Trickle in the number 70 Aston Martin. So those two guys I'm going to be keeping an eye on today because you know, they are the number 1 and number 2 at XCL, so we'll be cheering those guys on for sure. So as Crypto Exotics crosses the line, he does go 8 seconds off the pace. Adam Shaw does set a 1:47.1, which is a ridiculous time. He's beaten that time by a second. So Tony Doxen at 1:47 is on if they can find clean air. And yeah, Adam Shaw's has popped in there, maybe threatened to set a 1:46 in qualifying. So we'll see this. Chuggy B says she's listening to on the commute on a commute on the way home. Much more interesting drive home. Must make sure I don't race like I'm in the race. Yes, yeah, don't be doing that, Chuggy B, because that wouldn't be good. There's a lot of field spread here in regards to times currently, but let's just ride with some other drivers and see what else is going on out there. We have the 666 car. Who are you? You are Doug's Bores in that black 666 Ferrari, coming around the last corner. Now currently 1.7 seconds off the pace. Adam Shaw has set a massive benchmark here with a 1:47.1, so that is a really good time by him. Doug Bores does improve slightly, but not enough to get himself up the order. We are now frantically looking for the number 27 car. Where are you? I can't see you anywhere. I'm being blind here. I don't think the 27 car is going to get enough airtime today because I can't see you out there. I'm being blind. I'm being number blind. Oh, it's a 37 car. That's why I couldn't see you. So unfortunately, yeah, the number 37 car, I've missed you now. Let's go to the 107 car next. You're coming around to set a time. I'm shooting number blind today. There we go. Champ of Hal, 107. He is in the Boatley. Yeah, 2.1 seconds off the pace currently. Very brave man picking Champ of Hal out there. Sorry, picking very brave man picking the Bentley out there, especially around Snetterton. Let's see what he can do. Currently 2.1 seconds off the pace. Can he get himself up the order slightly? We will find out now as he crosses the line. He does improve 1.4 seconds of pace and does go up to P7, so that's not a bad time by him. Let's ride with Sir Dick Trickle in that very famous Aston Martin. See, he's got the number 70 today, which tells me someone else has got the number sub 69. Yes, a Subsonic 10 has swooped in here and stolen Dick Trickle's number off him by getting in the server first. I don't think Dick Trickle's going to be happy about that. Jamie Feller saying alien times. There definitely are, yeah, faster than I can probably set. As Dick Trickle crosses the line, currently P19. He does improve to P16, 4.6 seconds off the pace. Let's have a look at the number 7 car now. You'll come around next. That is Zero C. Zero C was one of the quick guys out there in practice. We'll see what he can do now. Currently 1.4 seconds off the pace. As we do see a car go off in the background in the distance. So just come around the last couple of corners now and we'll see what he can do. This last corner is pretty tricky at Snetterton. I don't like it myself. Oh, it goes a little bit wide down that last corner, so let's see what he can do though. He is 1.4 seconds of pace currently. No, it doesn't look like he improves in that time there. So we have the number... I have missed that number 37 car a couple of times now. It is Sabre, so I will know that for next time. But Sabre crosses the line. He is 2.3 seconds of the pace. Currently P13. I think Sabre will be happy with that. Now, Sabre is one of the drivers at XCL that is racing with a controller. So it is always much more difficult to be racing out there with a controller. So good luck to Sabre today. Yeah, I think any controller driver that can get that car into the top 10 deserves some kind of credibility. So good luck if you can get yourself up there. Baz PW just ahead of you. That's a lovely looking livery there. It's a bit like the Alpine livery. He is 2.3 seconds off the pace, currently leading that BMW battle with IXR, about 0.5 up from him. But as Baz PW crosses the line, what can he do this time round? Does he improve? No, it doesn't look like he improves this time round. The number 40 car is next on my list. Where are you? You are... Oh, that is Brandon Williams. Now, Brandon Williams currently 8.3 seconds off the pace, down in 26th place. That has surely got to be a few rough laps by him, because he should be way up the order based on his overall speed in most races that he does. Surely he'll improve now, if that didn't default on the last corner there. He does improve, and he takes himself up into P3. He does pip Kyle Williams, who's currently in P5.2 behind him. But actually, Adam Shaw does break the 146 barrier with a 146.998. Ete Wilson does improve as well, but he is just behind. So Ete Wilson and Adam Shaw having a great little battle out there. And then Brandon Williams, Big Al and Carl Williams round out the top 5. Now, worth mentioning now, Archie here, 1.4 seconds of the pace in 6th. He is currently an XCL debutant and the only XCL debutant out there, so wish him all the best today. But qualifying in P6 with this really strong field. Look how many silver and bronze drivers he's out-qualified here so far. So Archie here in the 222 McLaren, P6. That is really, really, really good performance by him so far. We have the 724 car coming around now. That is P1 Jupiter. So let's see what he can do on his next qualifying lap. Just catch in on the chat here for a second. Levi Racing saying Vamos Sabre. Jamie Feller saying a bit harder with a controller. Trying a controller is the reason I spent so much on a rig. Yeah, controller racing is hard. So like I said, Sabre in P14 currently only 2.4 seconds off the pace. That is fantastic lap time by him. They do say that a controller is probably about 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower. Carol saying, yes, I can't go with a controller. So yeah, everyone's kind of, Sabre is kind of wishing you the best. So good luck to yourself out there. We have the number 298 car currently next. We still have 3 minutes left of qualifying, so if people are in the pits, they still have chance to come out and set another time. We have Romanos here in P18, 3.7 seconds off the pace. Can he get himself up into the P15? The top 15 in the grid. No, it doesn't look like he's going to improve on his time either. The next driver coming around is the 96 car. That is Hushed Webb. Oh, Hushed Webb with a nice little livery out there today. He normally races in a black Porsche, but today he's got this kind of green and blue Porsche. So that is a surprising little livery by Hushed Webb here. He is 6.7 seconds off the pace currently, but he does have a few cars ahead of him he can pass if he does set a better lap. So what can he do this time around? As he crosses the line, it doesn't look like he's going to improve this time around. We have the number 666 car, I believe, with Doug Spores next. So Spores come around in the all-black Ferrari. People do love the all-black liveries. They do look pretty menacing, don't they? But yeah, Doug Spores is currently 1.6 seconds off the pace here. Can he get himself up the order a little bit? He's got a big jump to get up into the top 5 for sure, but as he crosses the line, it doesn't look like he improves either. The number 24 car is next. That is Baz PW again. So we have 1 minute 58 seconds left, and it is a 1 minute 46 seconds to set a to get around and set a time. So I think if you're in the pits now, your qualifying session is over. So there isn't that many cars out there setting times currently. Yeah, Baz PW, he looks like he's going to dive into the pits. So we have the 318 car. Where are you? I can't see you quickly enough. That is Kutzmal. Kutzmal, who is currently in 16th. 2.8 seconds off the pace. Does improve his time and goes P13, 2.2 seconds off the pace. That's a good lap by him. Romanos has come around again in the time it's taken me to look at those drivers. So let's see what he can do this time around. So he's still P18, still 3.7 seconds off the pace. Can he improve this time around? With 1 minute 13 seconds to go, if he does cross the line now, this will be his last chance to set a time. So this will be, as he crosses the line, his last qualifying lap. So good luck on your last lap, Romanos. He doesn't improve that time around either. The 999 car is next. Who is that? I can't see you quickly enough. That is Diabolic. Currently P17 in the all-black Aston Martin. Does decide to default his lap or just pull over at the end. Crypto Exotics has come around the last corner now. These drivers still have a chance when they cross the line to set another time. Crypto Exotics is currently the last driver out there that has set a time. Can he improve on his lap time? He can't. He's still 8.7 seconds off the pace. he will continue to try and improve, I'm sure. He's got one more lap to try and do it. Doug's Balls is coming around now, still 1.7 seconds off the pace. If he does cross the line now, he will still have a chance to set another time. As he crosses the line, he does improve to P6. Less than a second to go. The number 69 car of Subsonic 10 is just crossing the line now. He will have one shot at this to set a time. The number 29 car next. Where are you? I've got to quickly find you. US Panzabero. That's a nice looking livery. Panzabero is going to be the first driver to cross the line at the end of qualifying. The car behind him won't have chance to set a time. Panzabero does improve it to P13 on his last lap. The number 13 car of IXR Tool does improve at the end as well to P13. So there's a couple of drivers that have crossed the line here and set their final times. The 318 car is coming across next. I can't find you quick enough. So next out there is the 212 car. Where are you? That is it's Ete Wilson. Look at these drivers here. So we have Brandon Williams, Adam Shaw and Ete Wilson all within 0.2 of a second of pole here. As Ete Wilson crosses the line, can he improve in his last time? He does improve to go ahead of Adam Shaw, but it isn't enough to get himself on pole. The 218 car is the next driver coming around. Can I find you quickly enough? I don't think I can. And then after that we have the 222 car of Archie. So we do know Archie is an XCL debutant today. It looks like whatever happens, he will get himself into the top 10 here. So Archie, 1.5 seconds off the pace, coming around the last corner now. Can he get himself up into the top 5? We will find out in a moment. And then the 724 car maybe behind him. So as Archie crosses the line, does he improve? No. Jupiter behind him doesn't improve also. Then we have the 172 car, the last car to potentially cross the line is Crypto Exotics. Can he improve in his last lap time? He does improve his time, but not enough to get himself off of 27th place. Tony Doc saying, giving Brandon Williams a round of applause, and he's saying, wow, this sets up a great race. I think those three drivers at the front are going to be so racy together. This is going to be so good. But I will go through the times in a second, guys, and we'll have a look at some of the sector times. I will just grab a quick drink, and I'll be back momentarily. I'm back. So the question is, guys, who do we think is going to win? And Tony Doc, I know you always like the interesting calls, but are we going to have some sort of crazy outside, outside the, maybe in the sort of far reaches, maybe a little sneaky podium in there from someone that we don't normally expect. We'll have to wait and see. But let's have a look at the times quickly. So, actually, Ete Wilson did have the fastest first and last sector, but it was just he lost 0.4 of a second in that middle sector. So that's going to be interesting to watch in the race if Ete Wilson has got a better first and last sector, but Brandon Williams has the control in in the middle sector. Now, Adam Shaw. So look at this. Adam Shaw in P3 was 1/10 of a second behind pole position. So those three drivers, literally 0.138 of a second between first, second, and third. That is crazy. And then Big Al, Kyle Williams, Doug Bors, and even P1 Jupiter and P7, those drivers all within a second of that pole time. So, we're fueling things. Just watch out for these guys. All those drivers, in the 147s. And then, we have loads of 148 and 149 drivers here, all the way down to Sabre in P17. So we do know Sabre is that controller driver. And then there's a bit of field spread at the back, 4, 5, and then there's a couple of 7 and 8 seconds at the back. So Mike, Crypto Exotics, and Subsonic 10 might have a little battle at the back. But you never really know what's going to happen out there. But I think anyone from maybe 7th or 8th down could probably get on the podium today. So good luck to everyone out there.
20 seconds.
Jupiter saying myself, Ete Wilson, and Archie are all P1 teammates. I hope I don't kill them. Yeah, well, we'll have to see how you get on. That is a really close driving by all of you, but I just need to quickly go back to the main screen. We'll go to Brandon Williams at the front. But yeah, we've got some exciting racing today, guys. 30 minutes of Snetterton. Everyone has to do a mandatory pit stop for fuel. So we will go out there and see what happens, but I'll walk you through the grid. So we do know we have Brandon Williams on pole in the number 40 Mercedes, followed by Ete Wilson in the 212 McLaren. We have the number 1000 Adam Shaw in P3 in an all Ferrari second row alongside Big L. And then behind that we have Carl Williams in the Aston Martin, and then he's got Doug's Boars beside him in P6. And then we have an all McLaren fourth row with Jupiter and Archie. We do know they're teammates. That's probably why they have similar liveries out there. So good luck to those two. Be interesting to see what Jupiter and Archie can do in P7 and P8. Actually, that probably makes sense why Ete Wilson is also in a... Oh, they've all got the similar kind of liveries, haven't they? But they're all in McLarens. That probably makes sense then. So we'll look out for that little McLaren battle there. Zero C's and Joe Knows round out the top 10. And then we have Champ of Hal in the... Bentley in P11 alongside RXR Tool in the lead BMW. And then we have Romanos and Kutmal in 13th and 14th with Baz, PW and Sabre in 15th and 16th. Diabolic and Farrell make it 17th and 18th. And then we have Dick Trickle and Panzabero in 19th and 20th. Salient G and Slasher Knives is in 21st and 22nd. With Jerkio, who has opted to start from the pits, and Hush Webb will be 23rd when that all kicks in. Mike 24th, Crypto Exotics 25th, and then he's set now, and then Subsonic 10 in 26. So we do have a 26 car field out there. I do have noticed that I did say about the Clorpty Dick Trickle battle, but it looks like Clorpty is anyone in the Discord that can maybe let me know what happened to Clorpty? But he's not in here currently, which is a shame. Let's just go back to the front with Brandon Williams. I am just going to change the camera here to a wide pan camera because it's the cameras aren't great on Snetterton. So I'm just going to go like that to a higher kind of camera here so we can get a better shot of these drivers. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So we do have the front three drivers all looking pretty rapid. We do have that, like the three McLarens in the top 8. We do know are all in a battle with each other. So good luck to all of those guys. That's Jupiter, Ete Wilson and Archie. So we'll see what they can do. They're all part of the P1 program. But yeah, guys, who do you think's going to win this one then? Do we think Brandon Williams is going to win this from pole, or do we think Ete Wilson or Adam Shaw is going to have it in the bag? Let me know in the chat. And who out of Ete Wilson and Archie and Jupiter do you think is going to win that little P1 battle? We'll see. They're all looking pretty racing now. Brandon Williams does have a mistake in him, that is for sure. Carl Williams in P5 he seems to get faster as the races go on. So we're going to go around this last corner now and get down to the straight for the start of this one. Let's just hope they can all get around unscathed. Tony Doc's going for Ete Wilson for the win. Ete Wilson is pretty quick, so I think that's a good shout. Yes, Brandon Williams says it does have a mistake in him, but we will see what happens as the race unfolds. We see the front 10 cars here, with just a few more keeping in the background, but it does look like Brandon Williams has got a better lineup at the start here.
Green light.
So it is Brandon Williams that gets away in first. Ete Wilson, is that Ete Wilson? Yeah, sorry, Ete Wilson somehow got into P2 here. Adam Shaw's had a interesting start there. So he's those front three have got away quite easily here. And then it is about 4 cars or so just as we look in here at Doug Board, maybe diving down the inside here. But everyone kind of races that nice and cleanly there. There is no kind of collisions back there. Let's just go back a little bit further down. Anything going on at the back? Dick Trickle sometimes gets caught up in a bit of a battle at the start here, but it looks like it is as you were for most of the drivers out there. So very, very clean racing. Actually, there's one driver at the back, the number 82 car, that does look like he has maybe had an accident out there. But yeah, Brandon Williams does take the lead of this race with Ete Wilson in P2. Brandon Williams has broken a gap there quite early on at the start here. So we'll see what Ete Wilson could do as the cars kind of calm down here. But yeah, it's Ete Wilson in second, Adam Shaw in third, Big Al in fourth, with Carl Williams in... Oh, looks like he's lost the place to P1 Jupiter, so he is now in sixth, and P1 Jupiter is in fifth. Archie is holding seventh place with... Oh, he's just got off the line there. Doug Boyles is going to get past. Zero Season, maybe even Joe Knows is going to get past this. Oh no, Archie's wobbling out there. He don't know, he's all over the place. That was probably some sort of unsafe rejoin there. He has lost so many places to other drivers out there. Is that maybe Sabre coming up behind him now? Oh no, as someone dives down the inside of it, he's gone wide again. This is going from bad to worse for Archie as Slasher Knives, and Archie's going to spin around. He's going to be last place after these last cars come through here. So that is really, really poor, not poor driving, but really poor luck here by Archie, as he's going to be... yeah, right down the back of the grid now, so he's definitely not going to win that battle. But Brandon Williams is going to take the first lap lead here, with Ete Wilson looking pretty racy behind him as he's just a bit later on the brakes there. Is he going to try and make a move down into the hairpin? I don't think he's going to risk diving back in from there. Adam Shaw looking really good on the brakes there, so that is a good bit of closing gap by him. Yeah, Champ of Hal and Joe Nose. Champ of Hal just dived down the inside of Joe Nose here. They're side by side. But Joe Nose is going to hold the inside line for the next left-hander. This is very clean racing by these two. A little bit of a bump there, but is Joe Nose going to try and tuck it in? No, he decides to think better of it, and he dives back into P8 there. So that's really good racing by those two. Farrell looks like he has got past Kutmal there, and he's up to P13. He's trying to chase down Sabre. Sabre currently holding that P12 position. Kutmal's going to look to see if he can fight back here as Panzerbearer looking in behind these. Dick Trickle's had a good start here. He's made it up into P16 here. He does have Baz PW looking behind him to try and make his move back past, but Dick Trickle, who normally gets caught up in a bit of battling at the start, has managed to stay out of trouble here. So, yeah, Brandon Williams at the front is looking good out there. We'll just go through the order now. Ete Wilson is in second. Adam Shaw in third. Actually, as Adam Shaw, I think Adam Shaw's had a crash here, sorry. So Big Al is now up to third place. Apologies here. It looks like there's been a bit of a crash here because Adam Shaw's fallen back. Jupiter's made his way up into P4 here. Carl Williams still holding that P5 position with Doug Bors in 6th. But Adam Shaw has fallen all the way back into 7th place here. And Champ of Hal now looking pretty racy on the back here for what would be P7 in this race. Adam Shaw must have came off the track slightly. Like I said, this track is very, very unforgiving, guys. So if you do hit that grass, as you saw with Archie earlier, you will lose a hatful of places. But it looks like so far Adam Shaw is holding off Champ of Hal here. IXR Tour is rounding out the top 10 and leading that BMW race with Romanos behind him in P11. Sabre, who we do know is a controller driver, currently in P12 with Farrell behind him. He is about to lose that place now back to Kutmal. So Kutmal did have that better drive out the last corner, and he does fly back past Farrell and take that P13 spot. Panzerbearer is looking behind here. It looks like Baz PW then has got back past Dick Trickle as well. So Dick Trickle was in P16. He's now back down to P17. Mike currently in P18 here, about 2.3 seconds back. He's got a bit of a gap to Hushed Webb here, who's currently in P19. Then Slasher Knives is P20 currently, just trying to chase down Hush Webb here. Jerkio off the track here is in P21 with Crypto Express in P22. Now we do have a Zero C's in P23 here, who has pitted though. He is the net pit leader with Salient G behind him in P24. Subsonic 10 has pitted in P25 and Diabolic is in P26. And we do see that Archie has now pitted, maybe even retired from this race. But back at the front, Brandon Williams is now out in front, fastest up the race, 2.1 seconds lead over Big Al. So Ete Wilson has also had a crash out there. So that big battle at the front has kind of fallen flat on its face with two of the main protagonists both having incidents. So Big Al here is 2.3 seconds back from Brandon Williams, but Jupiter is then 3.5 seconds back from him. Ete Wilson going to try and make a move back through. Rewex saying hi all, how you doing? Rewex is good. Chuggy B saying he was lucky no one hit him. That is true there, Chuggy B. Tony Doc saying he had a impressive race at Silverstone in the Endurio debut, so that's what he thinks Ete Wilson's going to win. We do see him cruising back past Jupiter here, but maybe Jupiter isn't putting out much of a fight because they are P1 teammates, but these two drivers need to start working together to make their way back up the field. Carl Williams is just having a nice steady race here in P5. He is looking at that battle ahead of him as we do see Jupiter take a really, really late break in there. I think he misjudged his braking zone being tucked in behind Ete Wilson, and that's going to go from bad to worse for him. Champ of Hal going to try and make a move on him as well, but Adam Shaw has got back past up into P6, and Champ of Hal is now going to try and get past and make it up into P7, but yeah, that is unfortunate for him. I think he was tucked in too close behind Ete Wilson, and rather than crash into the back of him, he decided to go out wide here, but that is going to promote Carl Williams up to P4 as well, so this is good racing out here by everyone. Let's see what else is going on down the field. Dick Trickle is still right behind Baz PW, but he was a bit closer than that, but it looks like he's dropped off a little bit. Slasher Knives has got past Hush Webb now, so he was in 16th place, now up into 15th place. His next car up the line is an Aston Martin counterpart of Dick Trickle, so we'll see what he can do there. Jerkio looks like he maybe has just got past Arxar Tool there, but Arxar Tool, or maybe Arxar Tool's got past him, as we do see a Ferrari spinning around there. Is that Mike there? So Mike was up in P17. He's had a crash as well, so I think this is going to be the story of so many people's races today. Just, the runoff here is so unforgiving. So we really need to keep an eye on that as the race unfolds and just sort of see who kind of crashes there. That's Sabre coming through there. But Big Al is trying to keep Brandon Williams honest, but he is 2.5 seconds back. Like I said, he does have that lead over Ete Wilson by 3.2 seconds, but we'll see when Ete Wilson crosses the line if he has managed to close that gap down slightly. Ete Wilson does go 2.4 seconds, so he's caught up about 0.8 of a second on that last lap, so we'll see what he can do over the next couple of laps to close that gap down. Carl Williams doesn't seem to have the raw pace currently to close down the gap to the front three here, but he will keep trying, and he's about 1.6 seconds back. Doug Bull's holding on to the back of him, about 1.1 seconds back. And we do know Adam Shaw is a quick driver out here based on his qualifying time, so we'll see what he can do. Just very unfortunate for hitting that grass earlier, but currently P6 out there, so we'll see if he can close and continue on. There is a lot of gaps forming out there with the rest of the drivers out here. As I say, there's 2.2 seconds to Joe Nose, 4.9 to Romanos in P10, 4 seconds back from him to Cutmole, 2.8 to Farrell, 2.7 to Dick Trickle, currently P13, and then Baz 1.3 seconds back in P14 has lost that place to Dick Trickle again. So Baz and Dick Trickle having a back and forth battle here. Worth mentioning though, like I said, Zero C's currently in P17, has pitted, so he is the net pit leader out there. So if he can just stay out of trouble, he will get a hatful of places when everyone else decides to pit. IXR Tool in P19 has also pitted in that orange BMW. We have Sabre in P21, he's pitted as well. Diabolic in P22, Subsonic 10, 23, Salient G 24th, and Panzerberger in 26 all have pitted. It looks like I think Archie has quit this race now, because we did have 28, we're now down to 26. Claubsy looks like he had a disconnect or something, and yeah, and then it looks like Archie has quit out there, which is unfortunate for those guys. It does look like here that I don't know who that is. Is that a back? I think it's a back marker's getting through. No, is that a who is that there? Is that Ete Wilson crashing? Yeah, Ete Wilson has just hit the back of a back marker. That is really unfortunate to him, and he is going to have some front end damage now. So he was trying to close that gap to Big Al, and yeah, he did crash into the back. Oh my God, that was so close there. How did he avoid the back of Panzerberger? I thought he was going to clear him out, but Panzerberger being quite aggressive here. He knows he crashes there with someone, and he's going to almost take out. Oh, I don't know who that was there in the Aston Martin. Was that Diabolic, or who was that? Was that I don't know who that was. Sorry, was that Carl Williams? It was. I think it was Carl Williams maybe that came off there, but that was crazy. I don't know who it was, but someone just had a big incident, and how Ete Wilson survived that. That was crazy out there. Ete Wilson now currently in P3, but he will have that damage now, so we'll see if he can still continue to close that gap to Big Al. Ramanos out there is trying to close the gap to Baz PW in front of him. He's about 0.7 behind, so this is a good race by Dick Trickle, Baz PW and Romanos, but yeah, we'll see what these guys can do. I'm interested to see what Zero C's can do. Looks like he has cleared Hush Webb quite quickly here. That will give him then a 4-second lead up to Slasher, so he has got a chance to start pumping in some good laps here. But we do know some drivers do like to stay out late. Looks like maybe Jerkio is disconnected here because he's out there in the trees. I don't know what's happened there. I think, yeah, he must have disconnected, I think. Jupiter, see Panzerberger letting through all the back markers now. Oh, it's just going wide here with Jupiter. So Panzerberger is causing all kinds of craziness out here. He is doing his best, but it is quite a small track. So Jupiter is trying to chase down Carl Williams. Carl Williams now in P6. I think he was the person that had that kind of incident earlier. He was just trying to get past Panzerberger, but yeah, he's caused a few little incidents out there as Carl Williams does now opt to come in the pit lane. Let's have a look at Doug Bors now. It looks like he's closing the gap on Adam Shaw. We'll see what he can do over the next couple of corners. Yeah, Chuggy B saying it's close here. Yeah, I think it's very, very close. Yeah, so we see Levi saying strip all of his XCL rating. I don't know if that's maybe a bit extreme. But yeah, Panzabero, it's a tough gig being a back marker anyway. I think it's, you know, sometimes you just, was looking, oh no, Dick Trickle's out there sideways on the grass. I think he's just had a bit of a crash on that first corner there. I don't know what happened there. Maybe went a bit wide. But it has allowed Baz PW back through. But good save by Dick Trickle. That could have been far, far worse. I think that was what we call squeaky bum time, or a brown trouser moment. But yeah, he was right out there sideways. If you find yourself going hard enough to the left, you'll be going right, as they say. But yeah, he was good save by there, Dick Trickle. Well done. Carl Williams has come back out in P12, and he will be now the net pit leader here. Looks like Zero C's is just behind him, trying to get past Slasher Knives now. It does look like he does do that. So actually, Zero C's, no, Zero C's was having such a good race. And is he going to get back on before these cars come flying around this corner? He needs to be careful here. He's going to lose so many places now. So I was about to say Zero C's was right up on the back of Carl Williams for what would have been maybe a net P5 here, but that was an unfortunate collision, or not collision, but just you know, hit the grass and ran out wide there. So unfortunate by him. Big Al now opting to pit here, so that has promoted Ete Wilson up into P2 here. He's 5.5 seconds back on Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams having a nice, easy race out there. Just looking at Doug Bors here as well. He is only 0.1 of a second behind Adam Shaw. These two drivers really doing well to pull themselves along. They're potentially an outside chance for a podium today, barring any kind of collisions and stuff out front. So we'll see what they can do as the race unfolds. Just under 17 minutes left to go, so there's still plenty of action to unfold. Romanos here has got past Hushweb up into P14. He does have Zero C's, who has pitted ahead of him. Oh, sorry, behind him, sorry. So Zero C's will be trying to get past, but Romanos doesn't have to let him through, although he's technically not racing for position in the sense of Zero C's having already pitted. You know, Romanos, because he is still technically in a race with Zero C's, he doesn't have to let him pass and under no obligation to do so. Let's see if Zero C's tries a dive bomb down the inside here. He thinks better of it, so these two drivers are going to have to play it safe. No craziness as Romanos does go out wide there, and that is going to allow IXR Tool maybe to get up on the back of Romanos here as well. So IXR Tool has pitted. So again, he'll be wanting to get past as quickly as he can to try and chase down Zero C's for those you know, really important XCL rating points. A bit further up the field, Cutmole is chasing down Big Al, but we do know Big Al has pitted, so this isn't a race for position. Cutmole's race is with Jupiter and Baz PW behind him. Dick Trickle is doing okay. He's held at 11th place following that little crash. He is an outside chance potentially for a top 10. We'll see what he can do once everyone else is pitted, but he will have to with that crash. As it looks like Ete Wilson does pit now, so we'll see where he comes out in relation to Big Al. Hopefully Ete Wilson doesn't make the mistake of changing his tyres, because we do know it's only a mandatory fuel stop. Big Al is coming around the last corner now. Ete Wilson is still stationary, so I don't know. This is really unfortunate for him, but Big Al is going to cruise past him here. I don't think Ete Wilson's... Yeah, he's just moving now. Big Al is coming down the straight. You'll see Ete Wilson in the pits, and that'll be a nice, easy overtake for him. He'll have to, if Ete Wilson wants to get past Big Al in this race, it'll have to be on the track. Now, just to check back in with Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is currently in a race of his own at the minute. He doesn't have much of any kind of, you know, challenge from anyone behind him. So he's got 11 seconds to Adam Shaw at the minute. But obviously when they pit, that will be replaced by somebody else. Doug Bors is trying to get past Adam Shaw, and he's been trying now for about the last 10 minutes or so. So this is a really good battle for what is currently for second and third, but I think what is for net P4, P5. Champ of Howell doing quite a good job out there in the Bentley as well. We all know Bentley is a tricky car to drive, especially around a track like Snetterton, but he is holding out very, very well. He changed to the Bentley for Mount Panorama a few days ago, and then I think he must just liked it so much he stuck with it. But Mount Panorama with its really long kind of straights versus Snetterton isn't, I don't know, it's an interesting choice, but we'll see what he can do with that. Carl Williams now right up on the back of Ete Wilson. So we'll see if he can make a move soon. He's got a 6.5 second lead but ahead of Dick Trickle, but we do know Dick Trickle hasn't pitted yet, so we'll see if he's just going to try and do a long stint here. He's probably going to lose positions to all those cars behind him when they do eventually decide to pit. So that's unfortunate for Dick Trickle, but we'll see what he can do once he has pitted. Carl Williams, as I said, just trying to stay with Ete Wilson there. Ete Wilson does currently have the fastest lap of the race. Ete Wilson is going to get tripped up in a minute by the Baz PW, who hasn't pitted yet. So we'll see what whether Carl Williams can capitalise on that one. So there is a lot of spread between all the drivers out here, so everyone's just trying to get himself into a rhythm with about 13 minutes to go. We are about 3 minutes away from the feature where we drive inside the car. So so that was really lucky for Ete Wilson as Baz PW does decide to pit now. It looks like there's quite a few cars ahead. So Doug Bors is pitting, Champ of House pitting, Cutmiles pitting, Baz PW's pitting. So this is going to really help reset the order. P1 Jupiter is staying out there, and he looks like he is looking pretty good for a good finish here today. Adam Shaw has dropped about a second in the last lap to Brandon Williams, but he'll just try and see if he can get himself into P5 or P4. If he can stay ahead of Doug Bors. Doug Bors pitting a bit earlier does mean that maybe Adam Shaw did have a bit more fuel in that car, so we'll see what they can do as it continues on. I just see in the comment section here that Tony Doc has used his free Prime subscription to subscribe to the channel, so thank you very much, Tony Doc. That is always appreciated. All the money that I get from the subscriptions every month, I am putting towards getting a capture card, which will make the streams a lot more entertaining, so I can put graphics and things on there. So thank you for your subscription, and thank you for your continued support, Tony. It's all valued, and I do appreciate you coming in the streams and giving that subscription. So shout out to you, and thank you very much. Let's see what else is going on out there. I need to catch back up now. I was just looking down at the screen. So, Brandon Williams is in the pits. If Adam Shaw can, Adam Shaw can stay out there, he will lead the lap of this race. Looks like even with Jupiter coming around the last corner, Brandon Williams is going to be able to pit and come back out and still take the net lead of this race. So it is going all plain sailing for Brandon Williams. Now, and I just see out here that Sunny Daddy has also subscribed with Prime, so I just want to thank you as well, Sunny Daddy. So I need to keep up with these, but this has been a really great stream for me so far, guys, so thank you very much, Sunny Daddy. Like I said, it's if you do have Amazon Prime and you are obviously logged into Twitch as you are, if you're on the stream, you can link the accounts and donate a free Prime sub every single month. So thank you so much, Sunny Daddy, for your support on the stream, and I really appreciate you being on here, chatting with me, and watching the streams. And it's thank you again for your continued support. Yeah, it would be really good, Tony Doc, if Brandon Williams can do it. I don't know what this hype train thing is. Sub gift hype chat or use bits now to. Okay, I've never heard of a hype train before, but thank you very much, guys. You all said it's all really, really appreciated. Jupiter out there is, although he is in P2, hasn't pitted yet, but I am needing to quickly get ready for the feature where we do 5 minutes of inside the camera views of the car. So let's just make sure we've got the right car, so that we're going to go into the inside with Brandon Williams for a second. So I'll tap the trigger 4 times. It's random, and we'll ride with 5 drivers for 1 minute each. So we'll start now with 1, 2, 3, 4. We're riding now with 0 C's as our first feature. But what I really want to show you with, especially with this track, look how narrow this track is, guys. It is so narrow, and there's just literally grass to the left, to the right, and it's just such a tricky track. So to stay on this track for 30 minutes is fair play to these drivers. It's such a challenge. We can see here that 0 C's is currently in P12. He has a Sabre ahead of him in P11 and Cutmole behind him. And you can see in the rearview mirror here that bright red McLaren beaming down on 0 C's. I'm sure you'll be well aware of that. Some of these sausage curves are really, really tricky out here as well. But we do now ride here with 0 C's in P12. So he has got a chance to get into the top 10. So we'll see what he can do. And we are just coming up to that. So he's coming on this last corner. It's a really tricky. See, like a sausage curve on the left-hand side. If you hit that, you go flying. So you've got to really, really be paying attention to this track out here. But that is 0 C's minute up, and we're going to switch over now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're now riding with Kyle Williams. So you can see Carl Williams ahead of him, can see Adam Shaw and Ete Wilson both having pitted, both battling here, and Carl Williams will be hoping they battle for a little bit longer so he can catch up here and maybe make a pass for what would be a podium position. So this is the battles, although it wouldn't be a... Oh no, as I see that, Carl Williams just hits that curb. That's what I was talking about, guys. If you hit the curbs, what a save there. It's snatched back by Carl Williams, but he almost lost control of that one. So he's just trying to push it to the limit, and we did see how easy it is to potentially crash out here. This is really, really good racing, but yeah, we have Ete Wilson and Adam Shaw sort of racing for what is P4 and P5. Actually, so that is the podium places, sorry, because as you see, Ete Wilson dive down the outside there ahead of him. So this is great little view we have here from Carl Williams. We're seeing the pass ahead. Look at this battling, guys. Hopefully we can dive one of these next. We're going to go for the tap the forecast next. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we were with Panzabero. So Panzabero is chasing down Carl Williams ahead of him. He is a lap down, but yeah, we can see that it looks like Adam Shaw ahead has managed to stay ahead here, but Panzabero, we do know, did get caught up in a bit of a collision there and did cause Ete Wilson to have a bit of front end damage. But yeah, Panzabero here, like I said, we are midway now through our 5 cars in 5-minute feature where we're riding with 5 random drivers for 5 minutes. And yeah, Panzabero did have that little collision with Ete Wilson earlier that did cause him to have some damage. But oh, look at that, Carl Williams is getting pretty close now. That battle for 4th, 5th and 6th is looking pretty tasty, so we'll keep an eye on that one. So we see Panzabero just go a little bit wide there. But yeah, this is really, really good racing, guys, and we'll wonder who we're going to get next. We're going to tap the trigger 4 times. Randomly, we'll see who we get. So here we go now. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are riding with Baz PW. So Baz PW is in a race. I believe earlier he was in a race with Dick Trickle, but we do know Dick Trickle did have that collision. But interestingly, Cutmole must have crashed here because there is 0 C's ahead of him here, we can see. And Cutmole did have, was in the rearview mirror, so maybe he's come off the track somewhere. So this is Baz PW. Anyone who's raced the BMW before will know this. Such a smooth drive. It's such a lovely car to drive. But also it can be very unforgiving where it can just throw you out all of a sudden for no apparent reason. But yeah, Baz PW is doing a good job out here, but he is going to get pipped in that little BMW race because you see that orange BMW in the distance there. That is IXR Tool. So again, these 4 drivers here for 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th. As we can see, Sabre looking pretty close on IXR Tool now. So these drivers are racing for what is the top BMW driver, and they're all racing for that elusive top 10 finish. So we'll see what they can do. But we are coming up now to the last minute of our inside car feature. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are with Crypto Exotics, currently P24. He does have Brandon Williams ahead of him here. So Crypto Exotics, we do know, qualified last in the race. I don't know. He's not a new driver with XCL. He has raced before. The only new driver was Archie, and if you were watching from the start of the race, you will know that he did have that early kind of crash, and then he just got to hit the grass, then spun out again, and then spun out a couple of times, and he really, really fouled down the order. So. But yeah, it's a good opportunity for with this random selection, we don't really know who we're going to get. But Crypto Exotics is the last driver for this feature, and we'll go back then to the we'll go through the whole field from back to front, and then we'll have a look for some final little battles for the end of this race. But it's been a really, really entertaining one, guys. It's been a lot of action, a lot of people crashing, a lot of overtakes. But yeah, thank you guys for staying tuned. Let's just go back to the Sky Cam and go back to the. We'll go down the order. As we see, Jupiter has got a drive-through penalty, which is really unfortunate. Uncle John with a stop-and-go 30 penalty. So Uncle John actually is a new driver as well, but he is joined very, very late here, and yeah, that's unfortunate. Maybe he forgot what time the race started, but yeah, he is currently P25. Now, Crypto Exotics, we were just racing with, he is P24, 2 laps down, so I think he must have had a bit of an incident out there as well. Ahead of him is Panzabero, who is 23rd place. Subsonic 10 is half a minute up the road in P22. He is currently, let's see what time he is. So he is 3.7 seconds back off Romanos here, who is only just behind Salient G ahead of him. So Panzabero, if he can put in a few laps here, will maybe catch up with this battle for what is P19, P20, P21. So these guys are all battling for a top 20 finish. So good luck to these guys out here. So we see Salient G and then Hush Webb at the front of that queue. Farrell is ahead these guys in 18th place. He's got about 3.4 second lead, gap behind Slasher Knives. Slasher Knives is in a race of his own really, because he's got that gap to Farrell, but then he's about 7.4 seconds behind Dick Trickle here. So Dick Trickle did have that earlier kind of crash, but he did manage to save it. But yeah, he is he's not a bad racer there. P16 should be enough to maybe get some positive XCL rating points, but he's got a 13.6 second gap to Kutmal ahead of him. Kutmal rounding out the top 15 here, but he is trying to chase down Diabolic. He was up in about 12th place earlier, but he did have that kind of, it must have been a crash because he did fall back down the order a little bit. Diabolic ahead of him is just cruising past IXR Tool here, so I think IXR Tool must have had a incident come out of the last corner here. Looks, you can see he's got some front end damage there, so let's go back to IXR Tool. You can see that the bonnet there of the car is kind of raised up a little bit, so that has meant the Diabolic has got through now and into P13 place. So Healfy, thank you very much. I'll take that one off of you. Baz PW is currently holding 12th place. He's 3.2 seconds back from what is the top 10 battle here of Zero Seas and Sabre. So Sabre there on the inside line is holding that. Jupiter, who has come out of the pits, is currently P9 because he had that drive-through penalty. And now Sabre and Zero Seas are racing here side by side. Now we do know that, as I said, that Sabre is the controller driver, and I did say if he gets a top 10 finish, that would be a really good achievement for him. So Zero Seas goes really wide there, and that's going to give Sabre a bit of breathing space. We'll come back to that battle in a second. Chambafal currently in 8th place. He is trying to chase down Joe Nose, but there's a 7-second gap to him, and then there's a 7-second gap from Joe Nose up into Doug Bors, who is currently in 6th place. Something must have happened bad to Ete Wilson here, because he was up in the battle for that front podium position, but actually Ete Wilson is now 7 seconds off the back of Kyle Williams. Also now 5.4, so I don't know if he's had a crash out there. Kyle Williams is 1.6 seconds back from Adam Shaw, so he's trying to chase down Adam Shaw to maybe get on that last podium spot. I'm sure he'll get both the Williams brothers on the podium. That would be good. Adam Shaw 3.7 seconds back from Big Al here, and then Big Al is then trying to chase down Brandon Williams, but it looks like Brandon Williams has got this one in the bag. Currently doesn't have the fastest lap, and Tony Dock is hoping he can get the clean sweep here and get that fast lap, so we will see what goes on. But the battle to keep an eye on at the minute is Zero Seas versus Sabre for that last place on in the top 10. So Zero Seas has had a really good race there. He did have that crash earlier, which just cost him a lot of places. Sabre's doing his best to hold off Zero Seas here. He has 1 minute 22 seconds left here, so probably about 1 or 2 more laps. Zero Seas really doing his best to try and hustle Sabre, but Sabre is a good driver even with that controller, and I think he will do his best to try and hold out as long as he can. And checking with that battle for what is P20, Hush Webb still holding that off. He's now got a gap to Senate G by 1.8 seconds, but we do know Brandon Williams was coming through this pack here, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But Hush Webb currently holding that P20 place. And Salem G, as we see that Brandon Williams, just trying to get past the driver ahead of him as well. So, sorry, apologies for that. Brandon Williams, so I'm just going to have to cough here. 1 second, guys.
Alright, man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
So I didn't want to try and cough there too much on stream. I'm still recovering from a bit of a strained throat and a bit of a sickness bug. So apologies, my voice is a bit strained, but I am doing my best. Brandon Williams is on his last lap now, so everyone that wants to maybe make a pass. So Zero Seas will know coming around the last couple of corners now that, this is not what Sabre wanted. He did not want to be stuck behind drivers ahead of him. That is a back marker ahead. He needs to get past that driver if he can. He doesn't want to be caught up here. Hopefully that driver, Uncle John, will get out the way. Sabre does not want to get caught up here and have Zero Seas capitalise. Hopefully he'll get away on the straight here. So yeah, Sabre should now cruise past. It looks like Uncle John is going to go through the pits because he does that stop and go 30 penalty. But Zero Seas here on this last lap. He's got a good drag on Sabre. Can he get down the inside and get that 10th place spot? Sabre's going to try and hold that outside line, but Zero Seas is on the inside. He just touches that curb, and he didn't want to have the same mistake he had earlier. This is side-by-side racing, but Sabre, in doing that, goes out wide. And there's that Jupiter in the gravel ahead. So Zero Seas does dive down the inside, and that's so unfortunate for Sabre to lose that top 10 place on the last lap. But these guys are going to try and keep battling. This is the closest battle out there currently if you look at all the timing screens, so we'll just stay with this one for a moment. But Sabre's going to have to try and work his way back through if he can. I think that BMW ahead of him might have just hindered him slightly, but unfortunately that does mean Zero Seas has now got through. Jupiter having a little wobble there on the last lap as well. But let's just go back to Brandon Williams, who unfortunately didn't get the fastest lap of the race, but he will have the pole position and the win. And that's going to be a fantastic effort. Pretty much uncontested most of the race, led every single lap. Brandon Williams does take the Thursday night GT3 race at Snetterton. Big Al coming down now. He tried to keep him almost 10 seconds back, but he will get the P2 spot here. And then Adam Shaw will take that last podium spot. So well done to Adam Shaw there. Good racing. Qualified P3, finished P3. Kyle Williams finishes behind him in P4 with Ete Wilson coming across the line now in P5. Doug Bors is coming across and he'll take 6th place. And then we have Joe Nose up the road now. He's got a couple of back markers ahead of him. He will take what will be P7 in this race. A really good race by him. Champ of Howe in the Bentley taking P8. I think he'll take that one. He'll be really, really happy with that one. And then we have Jupiter behind here. He is going to take what will be P9. Zero C's will take P10. And then Sabre will take P11. I know it says P10 on the track now, but obviously it looks like Brandon Williams has already quit the race, which obviously you are entitled to do once the race is finished. Baz PW will take 12th. Diabolic will take 13th here. Cutmole will take 14th. IXR Tool 15th. Dick Trickle looks like he'll take 16th place here, so a really good drive by him. Slasher Knives will take 17th. Farrell 18th. Romanos will take 19th. Hush Webb will take that last 20th spot, for the top 20. Salient G 21st. Subsonic 10 22nd. Panzerbero 23rd. Crypto Azotics 24th. And then Uncle John will take 25th, I think. Tony Dock in the chat saying, well done, Brandon Williams and Big Al and Adam Shaw. Yes, Tony Dock saying congratulations to all of the podium sitters. That was a really, really good race, guys. Really entertaining. There was a lot of action out there. I really enjoyed that one. So BMW still out there. Yes, it looks like Uncle John hasn't finished yet. So he crosses the line now. They should trigger the end of the race. There we go. Yeah, so that was really, really good racing by everyone. Like I said, I don't know what happened to Kalopti because he was in qualifying. And then he just dropped out there. Jupiter saying, I bottled that with a drive-through. Yeah, unfortunate for you, Jupiter, but you did get a P10 finish. Top 10 finish, and that will give you a positive XCL rating point. So that's the main thing. Not as bad as Archie, who did have a terrible, terrible first lap. Spun out a few times, lost. Basically, was last place by the end of the first lap, and then he just quit the race. So it was unfortunate for him. MCR saying GG's, great comms. MCR, were you out there? You weren't out there, were you? Unless you changed your name. I don't think I saw you out there. Jupiter saying Archie's wheel broke. That's unfortunate for him. But yeah, it was really good racing, guys. Thank you all for joining in. Now, just a quick announcement whilst you're still listening before you all shoot off, that we do have a brand new commentator and broadcaster here at XCL. P1 Habs, I think it is. He is going to be coming the race at 10 p.m. tonight. So do go onto Discord and look out for his Twitch stream, and then obviously check his race at 10 o'clock. Obviously, just watch him there. Wish him luck. I've watched one of his races back already, and he does look like a very, very good commentator, and I think he'll be very, very welcome here. So, be sure to check out P1 Habs and his first XCL broadcast this afternoon. In about an hour's time at 10 p.m. BST. So, but thank you once again, guys, and I'll see you all again next time.